Premier League predictions are back. We have had our World Cup break now. Now it's time for club football once again. These Premier League fixtures are kicking off on Boxing Day. Well, there's actually 7 of them kicking off on Boxing Day. Then the remaining 3 are kicking off on the Tuesday and the Wednesday. But 10 fixtures as usual. Let's get straight into it. We've not done these for a while, and well, there's going to be some clubs that are going to be raring to go. There's going to be some that aren't ready just as yet, but I think it's just going to be like the start of the season all over again. We've had a massive break, and it's going to take some time for clubs to get back into the swing of it. But we start off with the 12:30 kickoff. Brentford against Tottenham. Tottenham currently in that top 4 spot in 4th place. Brentford mid-table in 10th. Brentford last game, we can all remind ourselves that they did beat Manchester City 2-1 at the Etihad. It was a very good victory for Brentford, that one. Ivan Toney, I do believe, getting a brace in that one, and that from the penalty spot, and then one that last-minute counter-attack before full-time to win that one 2-1. Atoma in this one against Tottenham, who have had a mixed performances really in their last games, scoring a lot of goals but also conceding quite a few as well. I think Tottenham should get through in this one. They are the side with more quality. As I said, I do think it will take time for clubs to get back into the swing of it. So I think we'll start off with a low scoring one, but I do think Tottenham will edge this game, and they'll narrowly come out winners. I'm going to go for a 1-0 away victory in this one. Next up is Crystal Palace against Fulham. Bit of a mid-table clash here. Crystal Palace in 11th, Fulham in 9th. Mixed performances from both sides, and I think I'm just going to back Crystal Palace in this one with the home advantage. I'll back both sides to score, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Crystal Palace in this one. Next up is Everton against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Of course, Wolverhampton Wanderers, we get to see their new manager. Hopefully I'm going to pronounce this right, Julen Lopetegui. And yeah, I do think that this one is going to be one of the boring ones. If there's going to be a boring game, it's going to be this one. I think it's going to be a slow start for both sides, and I'm going to go for a draw, goalless draw, 0-0 in this one. We'll move on to something a bit more exciting here. Leicester City against Newcastle United. Both of these teams' form at the moment is really good. Newcastle United have only lost the 1 game so far this season. Beat Chelsea in the last game. Scored 4 against Southampton, 4 against Villa. Beat Tottenham. And also did get the 1-0 victory against Everton there in their last 5 games. Leicester City, they've improved defensively though compared to the start of the season. Beat West Ham 2-0, Everton 2-0. They did lose to Man City very narrowly 1-0. And then also a 4-0 victory over Wolves and a 2-0 victory over Leeds United. So yeah, both teams in some really good form here. It's going to be a tough one. I've just got to edge Newcastle United though. They've had a superb season so far. I'll back both sides to score, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 Newcastle United victory in this one. It'll be very tight. We'll move on now to a South Coast derby with Southampton against Brighton in this one. Both sides, I would say, are struggling. Brighton, since losing Graham Potter, haven't been the best. I mean, they did score 3 against Wolves and 4 against Chelsea, but apart from that, Southampton, of course, Ralph Hasenhüttl no longer in charge of Southampton. It is Nathan Jones that has replaced him from Luton Town, and he did actually have a game before the World Cup break. It ended in a 3-1 defeat to Liverpool. In this one here, I think it's going to be tight. I'm going to go for a draw in this one. I'm going to back both sides to score in a 1-1 draw, I think. It'll be very difficult to pick a winner in this one, because I feel like both sides, as I said, not in the greatest of form, and they'll want to pick up all 3 points. And I feel like both sides can think that they could potentially have a chance to do it to either one of these sides on Boxing Day, but I think in the end it will end in the draw. And then we'll move on to Aston Villa against Liverpool. This one's going to be a good one. Aston Villa, of course, under the charge of Unai Emery. He's already had a couple of games with them. Beat Brighton 2-1. Also beat Manchester United 3-1 in his games in charge so far. Liverpool, they've been a bit 50-50 with their performances so far. I mean, they can pick up some good victories, but then they can also pick up some pretty embarrassing defeats as well, as we just saw their defeats to Nottingham Forest and also Leeds United, but then some good victories against Tottenham and who was the other one? Southampton, yeah, 3-1. Yeah, Aston Villa, the home side. I'm going to go against the favourites in this one, and I'm going to back Aston Villa to win this one, and I do think that it will be quite a comfortable scoreline when that full-time whistle blows. I'm going to go Aston Villa 2, Liverpool 0, and I do expect Liverpool to have the more chances and the most possession, but I do feel in the end Aston Villa, they're going to go 1-0 up halfway through the game, and then right at the end they're going to get a counter-attack to make it 2 and confirm all 3 points. So that's how I see that game. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Villa victory in this one. And then Arsenal against West Ham United is next. Of course, Arsenal top of the table, West Ham United slipping down into 16th with 3 defeats in their last 3. 2-0 to Leicester, 2-1 to Crystal Palace, and a 1-0 defeat to Man United. At the Emirates in this one, I expect Arsenal to continue where they left off, and I'm going to go for a nice, comfortable, easy 3-0 victory for the Gunners in this one. And then we'll move on to Chelsea against Bournemouth. Chelsea, they need to be careful here. Of course, home game to start them off again, under charge of Graham Potter still, but their last 3 games, a 1-0 to Newcastle, 1-0 Arsenal, and a 4-1 Brighton. I feel like Bournemouth may be able to do something in this game. They've been pretty good in their last games. Scored 3 against Everton. They scored 3 against Leeds. Scored 2 against Tottenham. I think there could be an upset in this game. And once again, I am going to go against the favourites. I am going to back the Blues to get one, but I am going to go for a 2-1 Bournemouth away victory at Stamford Bridge in this one. I feel like it's going to happen. And then we've got Man United against Nottingham Forest and Leeds United against Manchester City to finish off my score predictions for game week 17. Manchester United against Forest. Forest, they have improved. They're currently in 18th place. They have climbed from bottom of the table. Against Man United in this one, of course, they are without Ronaldo now. He has left the club. That happened during the World Cup, surely. Most of you know that by now. And yeah, I think Man United will win this one. I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to United in this one. And then we'll finish off with Leeds United against Manchester City. Of course, as I mentioned before, Manchester City's last game didn't go to plan in that 2-1 defeat to Brentford. Leeds United, again, a bit like Bournemouth, they lose quite a lot of games, but they also score a lot of goals. 3 against Tottenham, 4 against Bournemouth, 2 against Liverpool, 2 against Fulham. And I do think that they will score 1 against Manchester City, but of course, I'm going to back Manchester City to win this one, and I'm going to go for a 3-1 Man City win. Of course, the last 2 times Manchester City have faced Leeds United, it has ended up in an absolute massive scoreline. I think Manchester City won 5-0 last time, and then also just before that, they beat them 7-0 as well. So 2 massive scorelines the last 2 times that these 2 sides have faced. I do think it will be a comfortable Manchester City victory in this game. And that concludes my Game Week 17 predictions. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already, and I will see you all in my next video.